Neville Wrestlemania conference. Today's conference is being recorded. I would now like to turn the conference over to Mr. Joe Quinn. Please go ahead, sir.
Hello, everyone. Thank you guys so much for sticking around while we got through a little technical difficulty there. But we're here now, having Neville on the line, ready to talk about Wrestlemania, about a week and a half away. So go ahead and open up the call. Wrestlemania, April 2nd, live on WWE Network, 7 p.m. Eastern, and we'll open it up for questions.
And if you'd like to ask a question, please signal by pressing star 1 on your telephone keypad. If you're using a speakerphone, please remember to make sure your mute function is turned off to allow your signal to reach our equipment. Once again, press star 1 to ask a question. And we'll take our first question from Miguel Perez with Mundo Deportivo. Please go ahead.
Hi, Neville. How are you?
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm calling you from Spain, and I want to speak about the Spanish fans. Which is the difference between the fans of Spain and the United States fans?
Well, I think there's a lot of differences. I noticed that when we come to Europe, and especially when we come to Spain, everybody is always so excited because you guys don't get to see us too often. When we come to Spain, we know it's always a special occasion. We come to, the big cities like Madrid, like Barcelona, and you always give us an electric, energetic reception, and that makes our job a lot easier. So we always look forward to coming to Spain.
Okay, would you like to face the WWE United Kingdom champion, Tyler Bate?
Would I like to face him? I mean, absolutely, I would face him. I would have no problem with facing him. I feel like I should have been the United Kingdom champion by default. I think I should have been awarded that championship because of my service to the United Kingdom and to the wrestling scene over there. I feel like I could face Tyler Bate, and I could easily beat Tyler Bate. Not a problem.
And the last one, after you, of course, who WWE Cruiserweight Division wrestler is the best?
Who is the best cruiserweight in 205 Live? That is your question?
Yeah, and he said, after you, who's the best?
After me, they're all equal. They're all just inferior. They're not even close to my level. I just compare them all similar, like a gaggle of geese, I've got no respect for anybody, and nobody is even close to my level. Next question.
Okay, is the last one. Thank you for your time, Neville, and good luck in WrestleMania in your match. See you in Orlando.
All right, man.
And we'll take our next question from Rafael Insunza with Artes Media.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Neville. How are you doing today?
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. My first question about Austin Aries, your opponent at WrestleMania for the Cruiserweight Championship. Is he a tough rival?
Austin Aries is not a tough rival. He doesn't compare to me. I don't know why everybody is blowing this out of proportion. WrestleMania is going to be just another example of what I do. WrestleMania is about me, okay? It's not about Austin Aries. And Austin Aries is simply another person who is going to fall to the king, okay?
Okay. About the Cruiserweight division, the recovery of the Cruiserweight Championship and the Cruiserweight Classic, what do you think, what do you expect for the future of the Cruiserweight division in the WWE?
Well, as long as I'm at the helm, as long as I don't get sabotaged or hindered by some sort of politics, then the Cruiserweight division is going to continue to gain momentum. Look at the Cruiserweight division now, 205 Live compared to before I arrived. It's a different landscape, and it will continue to evolve and progress as long as I decide to be the king, okay?
Okay, and my final question is, the WWE wants to make another Cruiserweight Classic tournament. Would you like to compete in this tournament, or you are the best and you are better from the other wrestlers that can compete in a tournament like this?
Okay, so first of all, I'm insulted that you'd even suggest, okay, that I would compete in that tournament. If there was a Cruiserweight Classic once again, it would be to determine who has the honour, who has the opportunity of facing me. I have no need. Why would I compete in a tournament that is beneath me when I am the Cruiserweight champion? By all means, you can do the tournament, but all that tournament will be for is to determine who will be next, to challenge my throne.
Okay, thank you so much. This is all for me. See you at WrestleMania. Good luck.
All right, man.
And we'll take our next question from Donovan Baromir with CAQ. Please go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Neville. Hi, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. So, the Cruiserweight title will be defending at WrestleMania after 10 years. Are you proud to be the guy who had that chance?
I mean, I'm sure there's a part of me that's proud, but more than anything, for me, WrestleMania is about my overdue WrestleMania moment. Okay, I have been a wrestler now for 12 years, and forever as a wrestler, you chase this peak at the top of the mountain, WrestleMania, and I have chased that dream for a long, long time, and I have been denied. This year is about me, it is about my career, and it is about me finally achieving what I have been deserving of for so long, and that is my very own WrestleMania moment, my moment in the sun, so everybody can just look on me, look on the king of the cruiserweights, and realize just how very good I am.
Okay. After your injury, you went to the Cruiserweight division and you got a big exposure. Are you satisfied, or would you have preferred to have a big exposure outside of this division?
Okay, so first of all, I am never satisfied. So am I satisfied? Absolutely not. This is just the beginning. But all that has happened in these past months, when you've seen this rejuvenation of Neville, as everybody likes to call it, all that has happened has been a switch in attitude. I have started putting myself first. I have stopped relying and trusting on others to do right by me, and I have done right by myself. You've seen the results, so you can't argue with my methods.
Okay, fine. And my last question, in your opinion, how can make the Cruiserweight title more prestigious? Because it's a very young championship.
Well, there's one answer to that. I will hold that. I will maintain that. I will housekeep my kingdom to maintain the reputation of the Cruiserweight Championship. It all depends on me. If I decide tomorrow that I'm done and I want to walk away, the Cruiserweight Division 205 Live is done. Make no mistake, this division revolves around Neville.
Okay, fine. So thank you, Neville, and see you at Holland.
And we will take our next question from Matt Pata with the Independent Online. Please go ahead.
Good evening, Neville. How are you?
Hello there. How are you doing, chap?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Very well. Just from a fellow Brit's point of view, I just wanted to touch base on Brit's progress in WWE. We're still waiting for a first WWE World Champion, if you like. Are you the man to fit the bill in the future?
I mean, yes, absolutely. I would certainly foresee that in my future. I think it's irrelevant whether I'm British, American, of any nationality. I don't have much allegiance to the British flag. I mean, I'm not necessarily too proud of being English. That's not important to me. It's about me. It's about me as an individual, and that's all that's important. That's all that matters.
You seem to be on a sort of more single-minded track at the moment, rather than worrying too much about the support of the WWE universe. That, as you say, includes your own compatriots, your own countrymen, does it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, are you a proud Brit? Have you studied our history? I mean, there's times, there's things as a Brit we can be proud of, but for the most part, I bear the burden of shame of what we have done. I mean, it's hard to be a proud Brit in this current climate. So, you know, I like to disassociate myself with any sort of patriotism. All I care about now is me, and I will be the priority of my own world as far for the foreseen future.
Okay, well, just very lastly, I'm sure your fellow Geordies, your fellow compatriots, your fellow countrymen will be pretty disappointed to hear that, especially when you've obviously got a European tour coming up soon after WrestleMania. It doesn't sound like that concerns you very much. No,
I mean, it honestly doesn't. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not more proud, but, you know, I tried that for a long time. I tried to fly the flag, so to speak, and I tried to represent the UK in the best way that I could, and look how that served me. That got me absolutely nowhere. So here we are today, and then here I am. You know, I don't care. All I care about is myself.
Well, good luck to you. Have a great WrestleMania, and God save the Queen. Thanks very much.
All right.
And we'll take our next question from Neil Docking with the Daily Mirror. Please go ahead.
Hi, Neville. You good?
Hello, mate. Yep, thank you.
Yeah, nice to speak to you again. Just touching briefly on the last caller mentioned, I mean, perhaps not for yourself, but for British fans watching Fastlane last month, it was it was a proud moment for us to see, you know, you and Jack Gallagher, in many people's opinion, you know, steal the show. What do you think made that match so special? And you know, are you proud that two British competitors are doing that on a global stage?
Well, that's very cute, mate. Also, I appreciate it. You know, first of all, I have to give Jack credit. You know, he's a tough nut, and he proved himself that night at Fastlane. But for me, you know, Fastlane, another example of what I do. It was not a special night. It was run of the mill. It was. You know, it was an example of what I have done since I stepped foot in this division. I have dominated and I have been unstoppable. And I think at Fastlane, that was, you know, evident for the whole world to see. So there's, you know, I'm not concerned about stealing the show or having the best match or whatever that would be. What I am concerned with is being victorious and being dominant. And at Fastlane, I did that. So, I mean, I guess I'm proud in that sense, but I wouldn't call it pride.
Yeah. I mean, you certainly have been dominant and since, you know, making your mark on the cruiserweight division. Before that, obviously, we didn't see you on our screens for quite some time. Do you feel like you're finally getting to show on a regular basis just how good you are?
I mean, that's what I have been saying for the past 2 months. This opportunity has been long overdue for me, and now that I'm finally getting the chance, the platform, look at what's happening. You cannot deny that. It is right in front of you. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, the biggest stage of all to show that and to showcase your talents is WrestleMania. For fans, at least, you challenging Austin Aries challenging you is, you know, something of a dream match. You know, do you think the two of you are going to go out there and put on a great match?
Well, first of all, Austin Aries is very much challenging me. Let's get that straight.
Yeah.
Not the other way around. Okay. And again, you know, I hear people throwing these terms around: dream match, dream scenario, you know, long time overdue, whatever it may be. But and you know what it is? I can see Austin Aries feeding into this. You know, I can see his own ego spiral out of control. And while it's great, what is going to happen at WrestleMania is, once again, it's going to be run of the mill for me. I expect this 20, 30-minute dream match. It's going to be a quick affair. I'm going to dispose of Austin Aries, you know, on the grandest stage of them all, in front of the world. It's not going to last long. Mark my words. And I'm not concerned with appeasing people with a dream match. I don't care about that, okay? What I care about is my championship. It's about Neville, and that's all I care about, okay?
Yeah. I mean, both of you are renowned for having, long, successful careers on the independent scene. Have you passed across before? Have you met in the ring previously?
We've certainly crossed paths. We have never met in the ring, but the Neville that Austin Aries met is a very different Neville to the one that speaks to you today. And I think if he has any preconceptions of what to expect, he's going to get a big wake-up call at WrestleMania.
All right, okay, great. Well, good luck. Looking forward to it. And, speak to you soon, hopefully.
All right, man.
We'll move next to Jan Murphy with Post Media. Please go ahead.
Hey, Neville, how are you?
Hello there.
I have a question for you. This prevailing school of thought out there that smaller guys, the 205 Live guys have to do more dynamic stuff to get television time. And I've also, myself, sometimes wonder if it must be difficult, living under that or having to raise the bar more and more all the time. Where do you stand on that?
Well, traditionally this has always been a business for Jets, the land of the big man, but it's changing, and you can see that all around us. You can see that in UFC, boxing. It's about how big you are. It's about how exciting and how much fight you bring, and that may be a cliche, but it is very much true. Take myself for example. I may not be the biggest man, but pound for pound, I would match myself with anybody in the WWE and outside, in fact. I think whilst that may have been the case in the past, I believe that is a dated opinion, and I believe the world is changing, and we at 205 Live are at the forefront of that, making that change here in the WWE.
I sometimes have to look away at some of the things that you guys do because I'm afraid you're going to get seriously injured. But you lost 4 months over not a high flying move, but I think it was a baseball slide or something inside the ring that certainly looked innocuous at the time, but it cost you 4 months of your career. How difficult was it to sit out when there's so many things going on in WWE all around you right now, all this opportunity?
Well, obviously, as an athlete, an injury is always a huge blow. To me, it was no different. Last year, the timing was terrible, 3 weeks out from WrestleMania. But, that's life, and that's the very nature of this business and the very, very nature of sports. What hurt me the most, in fact, during that process was how easily I was forgotten, how I was overlooked, how there was very little compassion or concern directed towards me. I felt very much for the longest time that I wasn't in fact part of the WWE anymore, and the universe treated me exactly like that. They forgot I even existed, and that was a bitter pill to swallow, and that was very much one of the catalysts to this new attitude that everybody is so outraged about now.
WrestleMania. I mean, you said you grew up in the UK. Maybe not. I don't know what WrestleMania, the perception of WrestleMania is there when you were a kid, but here now, you're here. You're at. You're going to be in Orlando in your first WrestleMania, a great match. What is this going to mean to you? Like you said, for more than a dozen years, you've been chasing this dream.
Well, after you get denied and you get sabotaged along the way, you start to resent the dream. The dream stops becoming the dream, and you start to almost hate this goal you've blown out of proportion in your own head. So this year will be my very first WrestleMania, and it has been a long time due. So more than anything, it will be validation. As I stand in that ring on the biggest stage in all of professional wrestling, I can't wait for that moment so everybody can look upon me and realize that I cannot no longer be denied. That, to me, is what WrestleMania is going to be about.
Awesome. Well, I truly look forward to your match, and good luck.
All right.
We'll take our next question from Ash Rose with TalkSport. Please go ahead.
Hi, Neville. How you doing?
Hello there.
Good to speak to you. You talked about your WrestleMania moment. Obviously, it's the biggest show of the year. What are your favourite WrestleMania moments looking back previously at the history of WWE?
So, obviously, as a kid, I grew up watching WrestleMania every year, and there's countless moments I get to go to, but honestly, I'm not really bothered past WrestleMania moments. What I'm bothered about is the future WrestleMania moment. It's about me, all right? Like, I don't care about past WrestleManias, what's happened in the past. I care about the current, and I care about me and my future, and to me, that's all that's important.
Very true, very true. What's your take on the Cruiserweights since they've gone to Raw? As with the brand split, they've been very much on that show, been exclusive to that show. Do you feel like you should be maybe across both brands so we get to see more of Neville and more of the Cruiserweights?
Were you talking about representation on SmackDown specifically as well as Raw?
Is that something you'd like to see to give the Cruiserweights even more exposure?
I mean, if I get the opportunity to do my thing and prove my worth on SmackDown, I would love that. What I have always yearned for is the platform, the stage to do what I do and to show the world what I am made of. So if I can do that on SmackDown, well, of course I would encourage that. I would encourage Neville across all platforms. If I had a choice, we could have a network show which was just like rerunning my matches every night for hours on end. That would be the best network show for me.
Well, maybe that will happen. What is your take then? You mentioned Land of the Giants. What is your take on the top of the card? What do you feel about guys like Goldberg coming back, gaining the Universal title? How does a guy like Neville and represent the Cruiserweight division, how does he feel about that?
How do you want me to feel? I don't care. That doesn't concern me. I'm not concerned with that's a Goldberg or Brock Lesnar. What I am concerned about is keeping my kingdom clean, running my empire, and being the king of the Cruiserweights. I don't know what you want me to say about these people. I'm not impressed by these people, not at all. That's it. Not impressed.
And finally, something you might be impressed about. We know you're a big Newcastle United fan. They're top of the championship at the moment. Double celebration with Neville's WrestleMania win and a title win for the Geordies?
If I was a betting man, I'd put more money on Neville than I would on Newcastle with their track record. But I certainly hope so. I mean, don't doubt that I am going to be successful at WrestleMania. That is, right now I am unstoppable, and at WrestleMania I am going to be in the very best form, in the very best shape that you have ever seen. So I'm not even going to be challenged at WrestleMania. Newcastle, on the other hand, whilst they're in a good position now, knowing what they're like, they're probably going to throw it all away. So, that is what it is.
It is indeed. Well, thank you very much for your time, Neville. Good luck at WrestleMania.
No worries, man.
And our next question will come from Ricardo Gallegos with Polvora. Please go ahead.
Hello, Neville. Thanks for taking this time. I was wondering, after you defend your title at WrestleMania, what's next for you and the Cruiserweight division? What's the next step to make the Cruiserweight division grow?
Well, the next step is domination, baby. Continual domination. I will do exactly what I have been doing, which is embarrassing and these competitors who are simply inferior to me. Now, if I get the opportunity to do that and nobody throws any political spanners in the works, then, the division is going to continue to rise and continue with this momentum that has been building, that has all been attributed to me.
Sweet. After missing WrestleMania last year through an injury, what exactly did you learn from that injury?
I learned a lot from my injury. I learned that you have to look out for number one. I learned that nobody else is going to look out for you. I learned that if you want something in life, then you have to just go and get it. You do not concern yourself with what other people think. That was my mistake for the longest time. And during that injury, well, I had the time to sit back and reflect and realize where I had been going wrong. And I made some alterations that have been to my benefit.
Cool. What do you think about the wrestling boom that's going on at the United Kingdom? Would you consider yourself as a precursor?
Would I consider myself what, sorry?
As a precursor for this huge wrestling boom that's going on at the UK.
Oh, absolutely. That is in part or wholly due to before I signed a contract here in the WWE, and that has just continued to snowball. I started that process, and look at it now. You can credit me, in fact, for any sort of boom you see in Europe right now. That's all down to me.
Awesome. After joining the Cruiserweight division, you relaunched your career. Which other WWE superstars do you think would benefit by joining the Cruiserweight?
By joining the Cruiserweight, I think anybody would not benefit. In fact, if I was anybody outside of myself, I would stay clear of 205 Live, because that is very much my territory. And if you step to the king of the Cruiserweights, well, it is not going to end well for you.
Cool. Thanks so much for the time, and good luck at WrestleMania.
Bye, man.
And we'll take our next question from Andrew David Cox with Sportsnet. Please go ahead.
Hey, Neville. It's a pleasure to speak with you today, my man.
No worries, man.
Neville, you made note on 205 Live last week of you injuring your ankle a year ago in that match with Jericho. And the time off TV, we had the brand split, the Cruiserweight Classic, and the launch of 205 Live. But more importantly, we had a chance to see what we were missing in all these properties without somebody of your pedigree and credibility. In a roundabout way, is that ankle injury the best thing that ever happened to you? Because for me, as soon as you came back to the Cruiserweight division, it was instant eyes on.
Well, first of all, I appreciate you realizing the situation. You know, you're right. A man of my pedigree, a man of my stature, my ability, 205 Live had been waiting for that. So that injury, you know, it was a part of the process. It's something that I had to get through to become what I am today, and I'm certainly the best version of myself that I have ever been, and I am the most successful, and I will continue to be the most successful. So I absolutely agree. You know, that injury was part of the process, and I had to go through that to be what I am.
The Neville that we're seeing week in and week out is drastically different than the one we were getting on your first run on the main roster. Has this always been inside of you, or have you just found a groove recently and suddenly something's really clicking, it's just all systems go, let's roll with this?
Let me tell you something, all right? I was like a fresher cooker to burst. And then eventually when I burst and I made that realization that this is what I need to do to get forward, I will admit it became a very natural process to me. Maybe to dark side of myself that I wasn't willing to admit existed. But now that I've embraced it, I mean, you firsthand, you've seen the results. Now that I've embraced that darker side of myself, I feel invincible, genuinely invincible. And I prove that week in and week out.
Yes, sir. The timing of your comeback, along with the debut of Aries, has created a WrestleMania match that has a lot of us really excited. I know you're downplaying that a bit, but do you think that you two are the guys that can seize this opportunity and springboard the Cruiserweights to the next level?
I don't think so. I don't necessarily care. Like I said, WrestleMania, to me, it's business as usual. I don't know why everybody's blown Austin Aries out of proportion. He is just another inferior. He is just another one on a long list of people who are, you know, for what I have. You know, I walk around and I see people looking up to me now. I see the change in perception. And Austin Aries is different. You know, WrestleMania is going to be like 205 Live, like Monday Night Raw, is going to be the king of the cruiserweights showing his dominance. The only difference is it's going to be on a much larger scale. That's all.
All right, one last question for you. The cruiserweights have the unique distinction of being on the road with both brands. Are there both advantages and disadvantages to being present and a part of both locker rooms?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care. I keep myself to myself. I don't associate with many people. Okay, honestly, I don't have a lot of respect for my fellow colleagues, so I don't integrate myself, so I wouldn't comment. I'm not concerned with the locker room anymore. I don't care. I don't work for cares or for friendship or for any of that sort of stuff. I work for myself and my family, and that's all.
Well, good luck at WrestleMania, and thank you very much for holding court with us today, Your Royal Highness.
All right.
As a reminder, it is star one if you'd like to ask a question. And we'll move next to Lefebvre Axel with WWE Fan Friends. Please go ahead.
Hi, Neville. Here, Axel from WFF in France. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
So I have a couple of questions for you. First, you say nobody is at your level, but do you have in mind a superstar who can push you to your limits?
Nobody can push me to my limits. There's not a man on that 205 Live that even compares to me, not even in close proximity. So, yeah, nope is the answer. Next question.
Okay. Now, we need to talk about your rival. What do you think about the debut of Austin Harris in the cruiserweight division?
What do I think about the debut? Are you referring to when he hit me with a microphone after I defended the Cruiserweight Championship, okay, on live television for the entertainment of the masses, and then after that he whilst parading or masquerading around as an interview, he attacks me with a microphone, with a weapon, unprovoked, and you ask me how I feel about my debut. Well, I think it's safe to say I was not impressed, and I think it's safe to say that there are going to be repercussions for what happened during Austin Harris' debut.
Yeah. Next, as Cruiserweight Champion, which challenger would you like to face at WrestleMania? Do you have in mind another name than Austin Harris?
Listen, it's not important to me who I face. WrestleMania is not about my opponent. It is about Neville. I want to make that crystal clear, okay? April the 2nd in Orlando, WrestleMania is about the king of the cruiserweights and nobody else.
Okay. Finally, do you think, as a member of the 205 Live roster, that a chance for World Championship is a possibility for all of you?
For all of the division?
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, never say never. I mean, perhaps some of these guys, if they want to progress and develop, they can work towards that goal, but I don't care. I don't care what they do. I don't care about my peers. If you're the question about myself, could I one day be, WWE Universal Champion or likewise? Absolutely. I mean, that is an inevitability. And if you watch WWE for the coming years, you are going to see that happen right in front of you. And you know what? You got the scoop right now. So congratulations. Mark my words. That greatness is in my future. Guaranteed.
Okay, thanks for your time and good luck for your WrestleMania match against Austin Harris. Bye.
We have time for about one more question.
And there are no further telephone questions at this time, but as a reminder, it is star one.
Boom. Don't worry about the star one, guys. We're going to have to get Neville to ready for television tonight. So thanks, everybody, for joining, and look forward to seeing the coverage.
And this concludes today's call. Thank you for your participation. You can now disconnect.